In this video, we're going to review the results I got shooting our 280 grain cast bullet, okay, which basically this bullet I got for the Kropatschek rifle, but the actual service ammo for this and the 8x50 in the M95, it's the same bullet. They use the same bullet, 250 grain full metal jacket bullet, and I made up this cast bullet. There was a video on the bullet and all this in the mold I got. But I achieved some success with Kropatschek. So what I did is I just went, and you have to remember, the older gun, the Kropatschek, is a very simple, older design, where the M95 does have locking lugs and is a much stronger action. So what I did is, once I developed the load for the other gun, I just dumped the powder charge into some 8x50 cases and said, let's see what it does. You know, if the other gun handled it pressure-wise, this gun easily can. So that's how I kind of come about. I really didn't develop it or take it through the steps. I just went and done it. So like I promised, I said I'm going to go out and I'm going to try this. So I went to 50 yards at first. And I'll go over the sight and explain it, but for anybody that knows, these sights are set in strict strides, which is 32 inches, which is a yard. So I believe the earlier ones are some odd dimension that is close to a yard, other than a meter, okay? And we'll look at the sights, but basically if you watch my other videos on these rifles, the rear sights they'll either have a 5 or a 3. Obviously, I believe meaning 500 yards or 300 yards. And that varies. They can be replaced and changed. It's just the height or the notch or something. So when we went to the 50-yard range, just to get a sight in, I'll show you the sight and explain. But basically we had it down, fired, and it was low. So now we'll go and take a close-up of the rifle sight, and I'll explain to you what I've done and how I went and changed it to get to where I was able to hit something with it. Okay, so here's a look at our rifle in the sight. Now those of you that know, this here is the, with it down, this is the basic rear sight or the combat sight. And like I said, on this surface here is a 5. Either be 3 or 5, and then you got your ladder sight, and when you flip it up, you have your different distances. Now, when I used this sight as is, at 5, okay, I was shooting low at 50 yards. So I said, all right, we got this ladder sight, so I went, and put it on 8, flipped it up, and then using the sight like that on 8, standing up, I was shooting a tad bit high point and aim at 50 yards. Now, to my surprise, when I went to 100 yards, I just said, you know, with the other rifle, what I was zeroed in at 50 was shooting low. This actually shot just like at 50, slightly high at point and aim at 100 yards. The only thing that I can come up with on why this one did this is it's a smaller case. The 8x50 is a smaller case than the 8x56, so it changes the combustion and changes the bullet. Once I got it zeroed in, it shot pretty flat, so it was pretty weird. But now we'll go and review the target. So this one was pretty simple. I did it at 50, got it up there, and then when I went to 100, it basically, point of impact was almost the same. So kind of similar trajectory. I'm not quite sure, but that's what happened. All right, so at 100, first shot was up here. So I said, okay, I think that was with a 6 o'clock hole. So I moved over, put it here, and these kind of went in to this here. These are the next shots around in here. So I checked it out and said, maybe I'll drift over a little, and I may have raised it up or something and got several up high. And then I said, oh, my point of aim is wrong. I'm aiming in the wrong place. Kind of got some down in the last grouping, but then after moving, I must have went and got these last two here, which is not bad. Okay, again, you have to do your windage. You are not shooting pinpoint right there. You have to kind of adjust your elevation and your windage with Kentucky windage, as they call it. Just aiming at another point and you can hit. But I was quite surprised that I didn't have to adjust the sights from 50 to 100 yards, and I was right on the money at 100 yards, where with the Kropatschek there was some guesstimation and more rounds spent and everything else. But I was quite pleased. I got the thing to work. So now we'll go into the conclusion. Yeah, so in conclusion, like I said, I was pretty impressed. I mean, with this one, it was a surprise that I just fired away and I hit the paper first time around. The Kropatschek took a little bit of trial and error until I zeroed it in. But this bullet, even though it is not going the speed, it's about 600 feet per second slower than the factory ammo or the specified ammo that for that cartridge. Both of them also. These are going about 13 something, 1400 feet per second, and you should be going about 2,000 with a 250 grain bullet for the sights to be on. But look at the benefit this way is when it shoots low, you could always move. Now you're going to use the ladder sights. Now you're going to use the elevation. Because it goes out to 2,000 yards or something. So you got a lot of room there to move around. And it's just you got to gauge where to shoot. And again, the cost of this ammo. This custom loaded ammo, or if you're using old, I strongly suggest not to use old military ammo. I see a Kropatschek coming up on an auction somewhere online, and there's a bayonet, and they have boxes, about 40 rounds of ammunition from 1919 or 1921. And depending on where it's been stored, or another thing people don't realize is chemically the nitrocellulose in the gunpowder will break down over time. Okay, whether the ammunition's been stored properly or not. And this can create a problem, extreme pressures, a lot of other strange things when you use the older ammo. That's why the military disposes it after 20 years. 20 years, 40 years is okay, but when you're pushing 100 years or something, it's not a good thing. But that's the results we got, and I hope the video kind of helps you, see what I did. And again, it's trial and error. Make sure you have a large backstop, because this ammunition is expensive. And it's frustrating when you're shooting the gun and you can't, you have no idea where the bullets are impacting. You're just wasting more ammunition. Make sure you have a good backstop, and then, you know, like I said, when I went out to the other backstop, you know, there's very small room for error, about 6-7 inches. So if it was off more than that, I had no idea unless I tacked up a huge piece of cardboard, you know, about 3-4 feet, so I could see where the bullets were impacting. But yeah, you can shoot these, and it doesn't matter if you use a different load, a different bullet, even a way underpowered load with a different style bullet. As long as you're engaging the rifling in the groove diameter, and for those that ask, there were no leading in either one. These things went fine. I didn't powder coat them or screw around with that crap. If you know what you're doing and you're using the right diameter bullet, there's no leading problems with high quality lead, which is another problem. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this helps you be able to, you know, go out, enjoy your own firearms, and kind of just the technique and what I've done help you get on target, okay? So hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned. Hopefully this summer I'll get more videos out shooting these old guns and trying to develop some decent reloads. Alright, thank you.